America's Founding Fathers: George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, John Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Alexander Hamilton, John Jay, and James Madison. Do these names ring any bells, or do you recognize any of them? Did you know that these 7 men are a big reason why the United States exists today? The term Founding Father was first used in 1916 by an American president, Warren G. Harding, to describe these men, even though they lived over 200 years before his speech. Now, people use this phrase when they are talking about a person or a group of people who started something significant. These 7 men are some of the individuals credited for founding the United States of America as it exists today. This is why they are referred to as the Founding Fathers. And there are women who could be referred to as founding mothers, because they also participated in the American Revolution and made many important contributions. 4 of the Founding Fathers went on to become President of the United States. Can you guess which 4? George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, John Adams, and James Madison. Did you guess any of these correctly? Nice work. Let's learn even more facts about the Founding Fathers, shall we? George Washington is referred to as the father of his country because he was such an influential leader. He became the first president of the United States after he unanimously won the vote. Washington was also the commander-in-chief of the Continental Army. He was in command of many people who were not used to fighting. They were not the typical army that we think of now that trains for war. Nope, these people were not soldiers. They were farmers and merchants, everyday people who had to fight for their freedom. Washington led these people in various battles against the British during the American Revolutionary War. He had success in many of those battles. When the Constitution was being written, a constitutional convention was held to decide how America was going to be governed, and George Washington was chosen as president over that convention. That's a lot of big jobs for one person to have. No wonder we call George Washington the father of his country. When Washington was president, John Adams served as his vice president. After that, John Adams became the country's second president. Thomas Jefferson served as John Adams' vice president, and then he became the 3rd president of the United States. After Thomas Jefferson, James Madison became the 4th president of the new country. John Jay became the first Chief Justice of the Supreme Court and served for 34 years before he resigned. In 1795, he became New York's first governor. Alexander Hamilton was appointed by George Washington as the first Secretary of the Treasury. His image appears on the $10 bill. You may know a little more about him. Benjamin Franklin wasn't just a politician. He was also a scientist and inventor. He invented bifocal glasses, the lightning rod, and the Franklin stove. He also published a best-selling book called Poor Richard's Almanac. It included weather forecasts, astronomical information, and poetry. It also included proverbs or sayings that we still use today, such as, "Early to bed and early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise." One of the ways the Founding Fathers fought for America's independence was by writing different documents that helped unite the colonists and encourage them in their fight for freedom. 3 of those important documents are the Declaration of Independence, the Federalist Papers, and the Treaty of Paris. The Declaration of Independence was signed on July 4th, 1776, which is why we refer to the 4th of July as Independence Day. It's the day America became an independent nation from Great Britain. It was first written by a committee of 5, and 3 of those were founding fathers: John Adams, Thomas Jefferson, and Benjamin Franklin. The Federalist Papers is a collection of essays that was written to encourage the approval of the Constitution of the United States. The Federalist Papers were written by 3 of the founding fathers: Alexander Hamilton, James Madison, and John Jay. The Treaty of Paris is another important document because it negotiated the end of the American Revolutionary War. The treaty recognized American independence from Britain and established borders for the United States. Britain signed the treaty, and the war ended. John Jay, John Adams, and Benjamin Franklin were the founding fathers who wrote the Treaty of Paris. Other individuals often listed as founding fathers include the following: Samuel Adams, who was the cousin of John Adams and a politician during the American Revolutionary War; Patrick Henry, who was known for the famous words, "Give me liberty or give me death." His influence helped create the Bill of Rights. John Marshall served in the Continental Army under Washington. And George Mason helped create the Constitution, pushed for the Bill of Rights, and influenced the drafting of the Declaration of Independence. There were many others who helped bring about America's independence from Great Britain, who could also be referred to as founding fathers. But we've made a great list. Now that you've learned more about the founding fathers, let's review. Can you name one of the 3 important documents that helped lead America to independence from Great Britain? Did you remember the Declaration of Independence, the Federalist Papers, and the Treaty of Paris? Fill in the blank. The Declaration of Independence was first drafted by the Committee of 5. What was the name of the war the American colonists fought against the British? The American Revolutionary War. How many of the founding fathers went on to serve as President of the United States? 4. Great work, historians! The founding fathers had a unique vision and made efforts that led to American independence from Great Britain. While they did a lot of important things, they weren't perfect people. Some of them did stuff that wasn't so great, like encouraging and participating in the enslaving of African people, continuing the mistreatment of indigenous people, and ignoring the rights of women. So, when we celebrate the amazing things the founding fathers did, we also recognize that they weren't faultless. If you could be recognized as a founding father or a founding mother, what would you want it to be for and why?
Hope you had fun learning with us. Visit us at learnbright.org for thousands of free resources and turnkey solutions for teachers and homeschoolers.